Greetings, listeners! Welcome back to Space Cowboys Podcast on purefandom.com. I am one of your hosts, Liz Prue, joined by my amazing, stunning, powerful, as Val Prue would say, co-host, Meg Bonnie.
Hey, girl. And hey, everyone watching and listening. How are ya?
I'm just so glad to be back. If you've been following Meg and I, well, we've taken a hiatus like the rest of the world, and we have kind of dipped our toes back into everything with one of our partners, Wizard World, who has these amazing virtual experiences. We've been doing some fan panels and moderating all of that, but we really miss doing what we love most, which is drinking and talking to each other after the kids go to bed. So,
Yay!
cheers! Look, I even have a tie-dye cup.
Look at you. You're like full Vlam mode right now.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
With my White Claw. Well, we are on video for those that are listening on SoundCloud. We're going to start putting these on YouTube. So I'm just going to turn around really quick and show you guys the back of my sweatshirt, if that works.
Do it. And I'll describe it in detail for you.
Okay.
She's standing up. She's turning around. On her sweatshirt, it says, "We are all alone." If you remember, that's I think the graffiti that Rosa does, right?
Rosa.
One of the graffitis that's done in the show.
Yes.
That's super cute, by the way.
It is really cute. And even better, it went
black sweatshirt. That's it. There's nothing on it.
You know, that's what I would be wearing if I wasn't wearing this. And it was, this sweatshirt went to support the crew when COVID hit and the world ended. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to wear it for our first podcast recording back. And it's also really cozy. Cozy. Uh-huh.
Oh, see, I got the one that Karina had. It says we're all a little alien or something, but it's white. And white is just not a shade of color that my skin needs against itself. It's very blinding for a podcast that we're recording video. So I went with something a little more complimentary to my opaqueness. So here you go.
You're stunning. I love it.
Boo. Takes one, girl. So obviously we're not recapping Roswell like we used to do week to week on this Roswell dedicated podcast. So we're going to talk about if there is any Roswell news, and we're going to talk about things we're watching and how we're living and how we're surviving during all this craziness and why you should vote, but not in too much detail except for vote. We'll just drop that in now and then because this is not a political podcast. Vote. Why don't we just kick it right off with some Roswell news, shall we?
Let's do it. I'm so excited. And each week following, we're going to be think of it as your pop culture podcast, but mainly just about CW TV shows and not the real lives of people in those shows, but just about TV. It's just like a geek out, like Pure Fandom.
Yeah. That's perfect. We don't really write about the real lives of these actors. And,
it ain't my business. Mm-mm.
You do you. We'll watch you. We'll watch you do other people. Oh, that sounded really bad. We're going to walk that back. We're going to watch you play other people. Okay. Cheers.
Mm-hmm. All right. Kick us off, girl.
Okay. There's not a lot of news. It's very Roswell news light, but they are back on set according to some of the Instagram feeds of the stars. And Janine Mason posted she was in her outfit, the diner galaxy not cocktail. What would you call that? Waitress outfit. And then she had a full mask and everything for safety, obviously, and she was distanced from the people in the photo, but it's really nice to see them back in action, even though it's super weird to see people masked up and wearing plastic smocks. But you know what? Embrace it. It's our new normal.
I was just thinking that it's, I guess at least we've all been living like this for the last 8-ish months. So at least there's some normalcy in it. I don't know. But yeah, it's got to stink. But what doesn't stink are the boots she was wearing with her outfit. She looked fierce as hell. I mean, she's just fierce as hell always, but I was very into that look.
Do you think that's a costume look? I don't remember Liz wearing flat combat boots. Do you think that's more Janine?
I think we're just getting into So we're season 3.
3. Mm-hmm.
Season 3 is usually that's that sweet spot. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
season 3 is a sweet spot no matter what show you're in. And everything's just elevated. The shoe game, the character development, the hair. And I said this once and I'll say it again. Elena Gilbert, season 2 and season 3 of Vampire Diaries, no blowout matches it. I'm sorry, it doesn't.
Like her hair was its own character.
I know.
Amazing. And when Catherine, when she had like the straight hair and then like the
Her
curls were like,
curls.
oh,
It was
oh,
I live for Katerina Petrova hair. I do. I mean, I just
I wish everyone could see your hair who's listening on SoundCloud. Use your imagination. It's
Mhm.
absolutely gorgeous. Rocking these bangs, very like romantic.
I'm still figuring it out. Like I was trying to go with, so that's like the only thing new that's happened to me. I got bangs. Well, I got actually, no, remember, Meg, the last time we saw each other in person, I got bangs right before everything went to shit. In
Yeah.
Chicago, I had them. And then I had just gotten them. And
In
in
Atlanta
Atlanta,
too.
and
Hmm.
in Atlanta. And then, you know, we couldn't get our hair done,
100 years.
which is fine because, you know,
Safety
safety.
first. Hmm.
But my bangs grew out. And so I got my bangs back. I'm going for like a Keira Knightley Pride and Prejudice mixed with Zoe Deschanel New Girl had a baby. And that's the vibe that I wanted.
Would you say they banged?
Oh my god. I missed you.
I missed you
I
too.
missed you.
I'm feeling my heart so happy.
I
Oh
know.
yeah,
I
we're
love it.
supposed to talk about TV
Oh
shows.
yeah, let's go. Let me drink.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Okay, so that's really all the Roswell news. Obviously, everyone saw that Karina's not returning as showrunner, but it seems like she already has written some of the episodes because I believe I saw the first episode back she wrote. So she's still
Oh
gonna have
really?
some.
Good.
There's gonna be some Karina flavor. We love her, nothing but love. Okay, let's talk about your favorite fall slash Halloween binge. Like, what do you always want to watch in the fall or around Halloween time? Like TV, movie, both. Like, what are
Mhm.
you vibing on this time of year?
October is a big month in the Prue household, like it is in the Bonnie household, because if y'all don't know, Meg and I are a coven, and she is my sister witch. So we take October very seriously. And there are a couple things that we watch consistently. So we have to, no matter what, work in Sleepy Hollow and Hocus Pocus. As basic as it is, I don't care. That's what we do.
Wait, Sleepy Hollow, Johnny Depp, or like cartoon?
Johnny Depp, Christina Ricci.
Christina Ricci in that movie. I
Uh,
mean, like if you haven't had your sexual awakening yet, just pop that on. Just do that.
she
Hmm.
just, I just love that movie. It's so classic, like spooky Johnny Depp. I just love
And
it.
like extra as hell. Yes. Okay, go on. Go
It's
on.
camp. It's just, it's fabulous.
Hmm.
Cinematography in it. Again, I love it. And then I always watch some of Buffy season 3. I'll try and work in some season 2, but season 3 is just so good. I mean, the prom episode. Wild horses. Amazing. So good. So I always got to watch some of that. And I always watch some of Vampire Diaries 2 and 3 for obvious reasons.
That's a good spooky time show. Yes.
So good. Well, and that's when all like, you know, the Klaus stuff is unveiling, and it's pretty, it can be gory a little bit, you know, it was more like monstery,
Hmm.
but monster glamour, so I love it. And then we always watch something new. So last year it was Haunting of Hill House, which was great.
Netflix show, right?
Mm-hmm.
For people who like spooky things.
You would be terrified. I think Mike's probably watched it and loved it. I would
It's very
never
exciting.
recommend it to you. I know you would never watch it. Like Meg can't drive over a bridge
No.
without white knuckling. You can't watch Haunting of Hill House, and I love you for it, but I would not recommend you watch that. Now, American Horror Story season 2 was a new one we watched last year, and I can't believe I have never seen it because my mom absolutely loves American Horror Story, and you know how close my mom and I are.
Is that Asylum season 2?
Yes. And have you watched it?
No, you know what? The only one I watched, and you'll never believe that I actually watched a full season of that show, is
What?
Coven.
It's exact. So that's what we're
Because
watching
I was
this.
like, Stevie
I know.
Nicks, here I am. I'm here for you. Thank you.
Well, and
It was
Jessica
so
Lange.
good.
Like, come on. So we watched
That show.
Asylum, and I will say, while terrifying, it's more like psychological thriller, and then at the end, it's like very beautiful, and I actually cried. Really good. Was very surprised. Not what I was expecting.
Hmm.
That was last year, and then this year we're gonna watch Coven, and then tonight actually we're going to start is it Bly Manor, the new Haunting
Yeah.
Hill House?
Yeah.
I
I
don't
don't know how it's connected though.
I don't either. I is it? I'm wondering. I mean, it takes a quick Google, but I haven't had time yet. It's like
Based on my
anthology.
my Twitter people
Okay.
posting like random pictures, because I won't watch it, and I don't think anyone's trying to like shield me from anything this time of year.
Right.
Jerks. Um, it looks like some of the characters that I recognize from being in the first one and whatever, like the Haunting
Yeah,
Hill
one
or
of them definitely is like the
yeah. So
lead.
yeah, she's in it. But I also I feel like I saw an aged up version of one of the other characters that I thought was in it. So I think maybe it's like a past story, but I don't know as someone who's a chicken shit and won't even turn it on. So I don't know. Um, but it looks cool. I mean, I wish I could. I could read scary stuff. I can't watch scary stuff. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Well, it's very like anxiety inducing. Like I can't watch more. Like I remember last year when we watched Haunting of Hill House, we
Hmm.
watched 2 episodes in a row once, and I was like, I slept like shit. Like I can't do that. I'm the same with Black Mirror. Absolutely love that show, but sometimes the episodes are so dark. I have to take a break. Like I have to
Yeah,
not watch for a few days. Like I just need to watch some New Girl and just
like
center
a
myself.
cleanse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Little cleanse. But yeah, that's our October. And then as November hits, I'm just prepping the house for Christmas. I don't bother. I mean, we'll watch planes, trains, and automobiles, but like I don't. And I love Thanksgiving. It's great, but I'm putting up my trees.
That's a good idea,
Mhm.
especially this year.
I know. Like
We're
what?
already looking at Christmas lights for outside.
I know. Us
Like
too.
we're jumping. All right, so
So what about you? So tell me what you watch
mine's gonna
consistently,
be
and then if you're watching anything new this year.
mine's obviously very tame. It's very kid friendly because I'm a total wiener. Um,
That's good though. That's like, I mean, that's not bad. Come on.
so like I'll rock a Scooby Doo movie and be like, ooh, ooh, it's spooky. Yeah, pretty much I could hang out with like your kids and we'd have like a rockin' spooky time. But like fall wise, I don't know what it is about the fall, but I always like to throw on some Gilmore Girls. I don't know if it's because like in
Oh
the
yeah,
opening they have like the fall like foliage.
it's
Even
always
though
in Stars Hollow.
yeah, it just like there's like jackets and scarves and coffee and witty banter.
Mhm.
Um, so I always like end up watching a little bit of that. But for like spookiness, like I do like to go to a Buffy type situation because I feel like Buffy always has a spooky vibe to it.
Oh yeah.
I like season 6 where it got really dark and like almost emotionally dark place torturous. Like that's the scary I like. Look at your soul scary. Um, and then
Which
Angel,
is the scariest. Okay.
it is like
It is.
I don't want no clowns. I want like
Mhm.
self-reflection. Like let's talk about you.
Well, now we found the tweet to promote the podcast, so thank you.
You're welcome. And then as far as movies, like I love Hocus Pocus. I've always loved it, but I can't get anyone in my house to like care at all about Hocus Pocus. So I always end up like watching it by myself, like drinking a pumpkin beer. Like give me my 30s. This is great. Hey. Um, but I always try to watch that. We watched Casper, which is really fun to watch with the kids. I love
Oh.
that movie. Can I keep you?
How old can Bao watch? Like, would she appreciate? Because she's into live action now. Like, she loves The Princess Bride right now. Very into it.
The only thing that's like semi scary is like uncles, like the uncle ghosts are a little like, eh. because they kind of do like a jump scare a couple times, but
Mm,
they're so cheesily cartoon. Like I don't think she'd really bat an eye. She would laugh at the graphics at this point, you know.
right.
But it's like the heart of it is all there. Except, 90s, they swear and say like bitch in this kid movie and make like weird sex jokes. But hey, we all
There was
turned
a
out fine.
there was a time period like with the Three Ninjas.
Yes, Rocky Loves Emily.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, obviously Colton was my boo. But what's crazy is so my three little brothers were obsessed for obvious reasons. I'm so sorry. I keep burping from this White Claw. This is so embarrassing, but we're on video now, so I can't hide it. Like, I just got to admit it. And I'm not going to like time check when the burp was and like edit out my burp because then it's like,
It's in 2020, the year of our Lord 2020. Your burping is like small, small potatoes, girl. Just
exactly.
let your air happen.
Okay. So, what was I saying? Oh,
Three ninjas.
um, Three Ninjas. So when Jack, who's been on a Pure Fandom stuff before, so you Pure Fandom fans, you've seen him. He's the guy that looks just like me with
I was
really
gonna
curly
say,
hair.
boy, Liz.
Boy Liz, Jack. He was here. I think Marty was here too. Also Boy Liz. Wasn't he? I don't know. But I think all three of them were here. Whatever. Everyone was watching the movie and we were, like, oh, we're gonna have movie night. It's gonna be like old school po-hop movie night. It's gonna be great. We turned it on and we were like, okay, this is kind of racist. Which means it's racist. There are
Hmm.
swear words. What else was going on? Just a lot of wrong. So we ended up getting really drunk and just laughing at it. But it was kind of like, and I think it's a Disney movie.
I think it is too.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
like a time period. There was it's like
Even
that, like,
Hocus Pocus.
right.
Doesn't he like call her a bitch?
Oh yeah,
Billy? Yeah.
yeah.
And
I mean,
virgins, like, great. Thanks. Now I have to
you're
explain
like,
what
wait,
virgin
what?
is to my 7-year-old. Cool.
I know. Well, meanwhile, Bette Midler's like, I'm just trying to get my songs in this film. I don't care. And that's why
Hmm.
we love the movie. Like, I just want, like, why has there been a Broadway Hocus Pocus, a Broadway production?
There should be. Like, I feel like it would lend itself to a live production. Dude,
Very much so.
if you're watching on video, you're going to see Bellamy, my cat's ass, at
Best
some
cat.
point. Because yeah, for some reason, he's very needy.
He was
I
being
feel
so
like,
sweet earlier before we hopped on the recording. I should have been recording because he was in the corner, Meg, and you were like, Bellamy, and he wasn't in the frame yet, and this is exactly what he did.
he knows his name.
His
He's
big green
so
eyes
smart.
were like, it was so cute.
Can you hear him? Wait, Bella. He'll talk back. Bella, come here.
I don't know why I'm
Bellamy.
listening into my microphone. Words come out of it. Like, why am I?
Bella, Bellamy. Hi.
Well, maybe we'll get an appearance from him. That's
Oh,
fine.
yeah. He's just circling around like a shark ready to knock my crap down, but
Whatever.
he's here.
All right,
He's
what do we
here.
got coming? What's next? So that's what we're.
So I want to talk about, and I'm not really watching anything new this year.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to watch, like, I'm trying to do the things that make it feel like Halloween with all of my might, but it just, it's hard. It's hard to do anything right now,
Well, you're
timing wise.
e-learning with your
Yeah.
kids
I'm
and
a
working.
second grade teacher, apparently.
Bless
Well,
you.
assistant, because teachers who are teaching remotely are freaking rock stars. Like, and I sit in the room with my daughter who does it. Oh, was that your head? Oh, buddy. Sorry for that clunk. Um, and just listening to her keep her cool, like I would be like, okay, be quiet. Oh, hi.
Oh God.
Yeah. So, and then I just kind of help guide the assignments and things like that. But yeah, it's just there's a lot going on. Say hi, Bella.
I know it's hard to like. We haven't even put out our Halloween decor yet, and I know we're like what halfway into the month, and I know this is like such first world problems, but I just like I just don't even. I'm like, why? What's the point?
Right.
I don't want to right now. I'd rather just sit and relax and, watch my Sleepy Hollow, watch my whatever. Maybe I'll put it out next year. We got a couple pumpkins. We got the easy stuff out. But last
Right.
year I went kind of crazy with decorations. And this year I'm like, I don't have the energy to do something else in this house. Like, I just don't.
Right.
My kids
There's a
are like,
lot.
I'm trying to be there for the kids. I'm trying to,
Be present.
be present, but also, keep my sanity.
Right.
Like
So,
we all are. And you guys are like, that's not why we're listening to your podcast. Quit bitching. Tell us what to watch.
okay, so watch Sleepy Hollow and
Watch
maybe a
it all.
Scooby.
Uh-huh.
Throw on a Scoob. It'll make you feel like simpler times. It's
Totally.
very
It's the best.
predictable and warm and fuzzy.
Watch the
Um,
UG Scoob. Always.
so I want to know, we talked about it a little bit on our Supernatural Wizard World fan panel. I wanted to know what TV shows you hated the ending of, because there's one that I would like to maybe mention. Speaking of Bellamy, it's right here.
Hi, Bellamy. He's so cute.
Hi, Bella.
He's the best.
Oh.
Okay. So shows with endings I hated.
Mm-hmm. And then an ending you liked. Like, let's be positive, right?
We'll be positive. Well, I wouldn't say there was a show ending I hated. There was just one that frustrated me off the top of my head, and Lost. And we talked a little bit about this in our Supernatural fan panel for Wizard World. And it wasn't that they didn't. I appreciated the effort, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I really did. But and I'll use the same analogy that I used or some comparison that I did with Supernatural. What I love about Supernatural, and mind you, for those that weren't on our Wizard World live stream the other day, I've always like started and then stopped just because, I don't know, you just do. And I love the show. I'm in season 4, and I've been reading Meg's recaps. This is hilarious. Sorry. For those that are listening, Bellamy's butt is just like right in the camera. He's living for it.
Censor. Okay.
Censor. Look at his green eyes. He's
Look
so
over here, buddy.
Oh, he's the best.
He's finding his best light right now, actually.
He's a beautiful kitty.
Thank you.
Best kitty. But what I love about Supernatural is that the show always sticks to what makes it special, and it doesn't try to ever veer from that. Like it's about family, it's about brotherhood, it's about friendships, it's about knowing yourself and, trusting your beliefs. And they really, really keep the storyline stuck on that. I know there are like some seasons where story arcs are like whatever, but I mean, out of 15 seasons, they really get it right. And what pissed me off about Lost was that they tried to introduce, I love where it ended, but how we got there in the final season really pissed me off. It was just like, did I need to see all of this? Why are you introducing more of these like moments when we had a lot of really strong character and growth to go on? And there was a lot going on. I was just kind of like, and then you look at someone like, let me go to ones I loved. Angel. Okay. I loved the series finale of Angel.
That's a good one. And it was like
it's a great one. They
not
didn't try to do
planned, right?
too much. I mean, it was huge. It was monumental, but they didn't try to do too much. Oh my God, you're amazing. My husband just brought me a Truly. I love you, Rick.
Truly
Say
amazing.
hi to the Pure Fandom fans.
Hi.
Wait, look. It's my backup, Truly.
Shut up. This is my backup. Wait, is that pineapple?
It's pineapple. Sisters. And cat ass.
Cat ass. But what I loved about Angel was that it was big and there was a lot going on, but it was also centered around why we love the show, which is amazing. And then you have The Good Place, where we interviewed the showrunner and the cast at San Diego Comic-Con a couple of years ago, right before the final season. Michael Schur. I mean, we interviewed the whole cast. It was great. And I think it was, if you're watching on YouTube right now, look up those videos. They're super short but really, really great, because Michael Schur talked about why he was ending it at 4 seasons. Like, it wasn't just, well, this is the story I wanted to tell and that's it. I mean, he like went in it, talking about this journey of self and what this meant to him and what this meant to these people and the discovery of redemption and can all souls be redeemed. And it was just, it's really beautiful and really intentional. And there was a lot going on in that final season, but it made sense because it was what I just said Michael Schur said. And I think that's why those ones really stick with me. And I think I told you this, after we finished The Good Place, it like messed me up. Like I couldn't even take the kids to daycare the next day. I was like, there's not enough time, Eric. There's not enough time. You got to stay with me. Like I was like sobbing. I can't remember the last
you
time.
texting me about it.
I was fucked up after that. I mean, pardon my French, but I was like, it messed with me, man, in a great way. It was good.
I'm sorry, I had to move closer for the people watching because if I give my lap space, it would be filled with cat ass. So we're up here now. Bring it in. Real intimate.
He's so sweet.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, so that's my. Yeah.
That one, that was like a really good ending. That's a really good
so
one.
Good. It was so good. Hold on, I spilled a little bit of my Truly. You keep going while I wipe this up. Tell me yours, girl.
You. Okay, so ending that I liked. I loved the Buffy ending. I thought that was such a hopeful way to end that show, where it was like, okay, she's done and she gets some peace. But then it was also really fun because you could follow her like adventures in the comics and like you didn't have to really let go. Like that's the best way to end that kind of show.
Which are so good. The comics are amazing, you guys. Even if you're not a comic person, so good. So good.
The only thing that I didn't like was when, spoiler, her and Angel like fuck a hole in the existence of time and space. And I was like, now what's that? Like what? I'm like, can we go back a couple pages? It was like a little weird. Like I'm on board, but why? Why are we doing this? But it was, yeah, that's my only comment about the comics. Like Spike flying around with giant bugs. I'm on board. Like that was great. But yeah, that little first season of the comic series, I was like,
I will say I like the Angel comics better. I really do. And
Angel and Faith.
I love Buffy, but it's with I'll have to. I mean, it's just right over there, but I'm not going to walk over there. But I forget which like series, and again, this is me being way too ignorant to how comics work because I know there are different like, there are different authors and illustrators and all this stuff when they tell these different iterations of these stories. But one that I picked up at the comic book shop in Chicago that we went to with Jack.
Yeah.
The one, how we do our annual February trip, which is what we all did together. I forget the name of the comic book shop. It's terrible because I go there every year. But I got one older Angel. It was like right after the finale, and it's when it's like the aftermath of what happened. And it's very dark. Like it is so dark. Like there's no hope in it at all. It's just like what would actually kind of happen.
Yeah.
But it was, oh my gosh, it was so good. It was amazing.
Ooh, I need to check that one out.
I'll take a picture and send it to you after.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And for fun, I'll just send you a picture of when they're fucking a hole in the time.
You need to send that to me because I actually don't have that.
Yeah, I remember I was like reading it at work in the break room and I was like, woo. Yeah, I was a little like, woo, I didn't expect this. I was like, I need to read this alone. It was just like, it was weird.
You need to read this alone. Funny story. I used to, when we were all in offices, when I was still at my old job pre-consulting, there would be like these little call rooms, and that's where I would go to write my TV show recaps, and I would only have like 20 minutes between meetings, and it was like, and I would like always feel like, gosh, I'm not getting any writing done. And now that I like have more time to write, well, you do and you don't, right? Being at home, I'm like, God, why didn't I like take advantage of that time more? I mean, I did, but like, wouldn't that pressure of having like, you only have this much time? I think that's why writing, and we both have written for other outlets other than Pure Fandom, which is why we try to make Pure Fandom, what it is. But when you have that deadline and you like, you got to get it. I mean, you get shit done.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, how did I write that? That's why I still do these script contests, because it holds me, holds me accountable. And you have
like a deadline.
Yeah, you have your editor's deadline. It's like, otherwise I'm just not, I mean, I'll get it done eventually, but like, no, I need
Pressure.
I need my pressure.
Under pressure.
Pressure. Yeah. But anyway.
Always my goal to get Liz to sing, and I did it twice today. Twice. So
your hands around the floor. I used to listen to that to Under Pressure by Queen before every cross country race in my high school and collegiate career without failure on my iPod.
nice.
I had
Look
to.
at you. How old are you with your iPad?
Oh,
My little shuffle.
Hop, Daddy P, Papa P. He's the guy that my dad's the best. All right. He's someone that will. I remember getting the iPod. I got the first iPod for Christmas, like the first ever. And I opened it up, and my brothers and I were like, what is this? And it was the white one with the 4 clicks. He still has it. He refuses to give it to any of us. Eric, my husband, has been like begging for it since we started dating. And it has a, remember the one the wheel would click and it has the 4 dots across? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. My iPod.
That's so fun. All right, I gotta tell you about ending of a show that I hated. Does anyone want to guess what it is?
Is it a little recent, girl?
Did I name my cat after one of the characters?
Hold on.
Hold on, let me.
Now that I'm listening to it, that actually sounds like pee, but that's my truly going into the cup. And Meg just cracked hers open. All right, tell us, girl.
Yeah.
Spill it. I'm here to listen.
So, I loved that show. I love those books. I love those characters. I had such high hopes for how it would end. And then it just like didn't. It didn't do that. It was kind of like you said with Lost, where it like introduced all these new problems, but didn't really talk about the old problems that were already there. And like I even liked the new characters. I was shocked that I was like, hell yeah, I want you to have a happy ending too, person I just met this season. Let's do that. And also, person I've followed for 7 seasons that I love and named my freaking cat after. I would like to see you have a fulfilling end to your story. That wasn't the case, Liz. That wasn't the case at all. Because Clark, who should have been Bellamy's like love interest in the end, or at least like best friend, right? They wanted to really make sure we knew that they were their best
Which
friend.
they set up for. This isn't a wild. I haven't even been watching the show, and I know that's not a wild theory.
It's not, because it was like the source material there together. So like everyone just kind of expected it to be a really slow burn. And that's fine. Like I waited for Stydia till the very end and it was great and I was happy. So I would have even settled for them just not fulfilling the romantic everything that they've done, especially season 6 was like the most romantic-y plot line between the two of them. Whatever. I would have been fine with him just like surviving and like being on the beach with them. I did not expect him to join a cult and then Clark to shoot him for a book that ended up in the enemy's hands in like the next scene anyway. It just like, it felt like if you invested all of your time in a movie and then they just like shot the main character and then scene, end credits. Because you're just like, wait, is that really what you're doing? Like, that's it. Like, there's no redemption. He joined a cult, everyone hated him, and then they killed him, and that was it. And it was so weird, and like, it was so hard to focus on anything else that happened after that. So like, I feel like I could have liked the ending, but I was so like jarred from the Bellamy stuff. And like, he wasn't a perfect character. Like, he had flaws. He didn't have to end up with Clark. I really liked that like Lexa came back as the judge and all of that. Like I thought that was really great. Loved her and so happy to see her character back. But it just was like so like it was like the 2020 of plot developments. Like, oh my God. I was just like,
so
sure.
I want to ask, what is the spoiler alert for people that haven't read the books, just a heads up. What happens in the books are done, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What happens in the books?
Well, the story only really followed book 1, and then it kind of like did its own thing. And there's a bunch of characters that aren't really in it, but you can tell, like, if you read the books, like, okay, that character and that character kind of do the same things as this character on TV. So, like, but the main characters are in it. They don't all necessarily have the same plot line. Like, her parents aren't alive in the books and, like, that sort of thing. But they end up, Bellamy and Clark are engaged. Like, that's how it ends with them. Like, they're together, like, in love.
I just don't get why, and this is more from like a behind the scenes, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
question. He wasn't in very much of the final season. Is there a reason for that, or is it just the way he was written?
So the like party line is that he had asked for time off, which is fine. I
Okay.
know, like, that's totally a thing. It happens. Like, you remember Dylan O'Brien wasn't in like all of season 6. But I think that
Right.
was one of the best seasons, like, where
Of
they're
Teen
trying to
Wolf, for those that
sorry,
are
Teen Wolf.
living under a actual rock.
Right? Go.
You were like,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Let's talk about it.
Right.
Yeah, so like he wasn't in that season, and they really made it work and made it so Styles focused and honored his character despite his absence. And like they could have done that with Bellamy too, because like there's all these planets that people were getting stuck on. Like his ass could have been in a cave. Put him in a freaking cave. Like, why did he have to join a cult and get shot? Like, I just have questions. But yeah, long story short, you can read all my recaps, but I just wasn't a big fan of how his character ended, because it really felt like it just messed me up for the rest of the episodes. Like, I think it happened 2 episodes before the final season, like the finale. So then I was just kind of like they're just like really not gonna bring him back. Like, okay, sure. He's like one of the main characters. Like his story, it'd be like if you just like killed Dean and then didn't talk about him again. Like,
I know, and I watched the final scene. I did, because you know I'm a hoe for that. Watching these finales,
spoilery thing.
finished, but I thought, man, why? I can't believe everyone else was there. That they just, it kind of like did him dirty. I felt like with Danny, it was the same thing.
Yeah.
I felt like that it was kind of similar to Game of Thrones, where it was just like,
See, this tension has got me like double drinking, double
girl.
fisting.
No judgment on this podcast. Friends don't judge.
All right, before we go, like I want to know what you're watching. Like we talked about what you watched during like the fall and like spooky season and all of that. But like what shows are you watching right now?
Okay. Obviously New Girl, we always got that, you know, everyone's always watching New Girl. Come on.
Like a comfort show.
Yeah, comfort show. It's been great. British Bake Off is back.
Yes, on Netflix.
And then to bring it full circle with Roswell, one of the writers of season 1 and season 2 of Roswell, Vinny, okay, the best. We love us some Vinny here at Space Cowboys. He had tweeted about Raised by Wolves, and I was like, hold on a minute, what is this sci-fi goodness?
Exactly. Was it sci-fi?
Girl, this is, so first of all, this show has Mike Bonney written all over it. And what I want to do is podcast about it with him, as well as, I know, our Fandalorian podcast about the Mandalorian on Disney Plus is coming back. Quick plug, where my husband, Mike, and I talk about Star Wars.
No, go and keep talking about the show you on a podcast with my husband.
I know, and it makes Meg a little. You can join, but I know you particularly care for the show.
No, I like Mandalorian. I do. I love it.
Why don't you join it this year?
No, thank you. I don't need your pity ask.
It's not a pity ask. I thought you didn't watch it.
I do watch it. I watched the heck out of it. I know that Ahsoka is going to be on it.
Then jump on, girl. Come on, let's do this.
I'm going to need to put up a poll on Twitter to see if everyone thinks that this is just a pity invite.
It is not a pity invite. I mean, there was a point in time last year where Eric and I were hanging out with Mike for like hours a week, and I did not talk to Meg because we weren't podcasting and it was bad.
Because we didn't have time because you were too busy.
With my husband and I were too busy with your husband.
So I would get a text like, can you bring me a drink? And I'd walk in and I'd go,
okay, well, join the podcast. I didn't know you watched it.
Yeah, I super watch it.
Let's do it. I think we should. Okay, so we're going to do a couples podcast of Mandalorian, but Raised by Wolves, okay? So it's created by Aaron Guzikowski. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. It is executive produced by Ridley Scott. It's like goth sci-fi horror sci-fi. It's just like...
What'd you call me? Just kidding.
I don't know. I don't know why I said goth. Well, it's kind of like goth because it has that, it very much is alien influenced in terms of like the vibe and the way it's shot. And it's just like a really good sci-fi. You know how like when you watch Alien, you're like, I know I'm watching something epic, but it feels indie and it feels like deep and intimate and mine. That is what Raised by Wolves feels like. It is so mind-bending. And the way I always kind of bucket the Matrix with Alien, because the beauty of the simplicity and the grunginess of the way those fandoms are, I'm obsessed with. Like, I think it's like simplicity on an epic level. And I know I'm speaking in these like crazy descriptions right now, but this is like my favorite. And the way they have one of their sci-fi fantasy elements, without spoiling it for anyone, in this series is so simple and perfect. Like the way this element is, and no pun intended, I'm just saying element in terms of story. The way this is portrayed visually, the sound effects they place on it, the depth that this goes, it was wild. And at some point, the first half of the season was great, and then they introduced a lot in the second half, which kind of felt like, whoa, I just want to go back to that really cool sound effect of blah, 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 blah. But it ended fantastic, and it's set up for a really interesting season 2, like, and not in a way where it's okay, well, where are we gonna go from here? Like, I don't get it, this is blah. Like, it's cool without losing its charm, if you will, of season 1, of being this dirty, grungy.
It looks really cool.
It's so
I'm
cool.
just looking at the photos. Okay, sorry, Vinny, but when you tweeted it, because I'm assuming Vinny's listening.
Always.
We're gonna pretend, yes. I super duper thought it was like a wolf show, and I was like,
me too.
Cool. Oh.
I was like, okay, and then I was like, hold on, and it was actually the night of the first debate, presidential debate, and I was like, I need to literally escape out of my brain.
Like, do anything else.
Yeah, and he was tweeting about it, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to turn this on, and it's been my favorite binge of a very...
And what is that on? Is it on Amazon?
HBO Max.
Max Original.
And it's...
Ooh, I don't know if you can see it, people, but like that's a really cool visual, the poster.
Yes!
But like
creepy.
just
the branding's cool, like it's just very like retro, but also it's got a really cool, unique, contemporary vibe.
A lot of latex in those pictures. I gotta say.
Latex, and it's yeah. I mean, here's the description. 2 androids are tasked with raising human children on a mysterious virgin planet. As the human colony threatens to be torn apart by religious differences, the androids learn that controlling the beliefs of humans is a treacherous and difficult task.
Ah.
There are a lot of themes. A lot of themes.
Sounds like a Mike Bonney show.
Oh,
it doesn't sound like there's any cute boys kissing anybody in that show.
No, there's not. But Mike Bonney will love it, and I think I don't know. I love it.
Sounds cool. It does sound cool. It looks really. So I'm in a whole different realm of life here. So I am watching Julie and the Phantoms, rated G, on Netflix, and it's by Kenny Ortega, who does like all like the Disney like musicals, and I live for them, like theater kid always.
Oh yeah.
But it's so freaking cute. I can't even tell you. And the music is really good. And I cried like the last one I watched. And I was like, this dead boy band is just so emotional. And like it's so good. And yeah, I don't know. I don't even, and like I assumed like they're like, oh, they like died 20 years ago. And I was like, oh yeah, the 90s. And I was like, fuck, that wasn't 20 years ago anymore. Like in my head it was. And I was like, oh wait. Because I was like, why don't they sound like a 90s band? And then I had to like actually think about it, like,
Mhm.
oh, that's why. Um, but it's super cute, and there's like one of the guys is gay, so it's like really nice to see like that so heavily featured, and almost more so than like the hetero. I just punched my mic. Sorry, Mike. Um, I don't know, I really like that that seems to be like the main couple. It's kind of like Roswell in that way where like the focus was on like Alex and Michael for so long.
Mhm.
I just really like that. I feel like those stories do need a little more attention and a little more like focus, you know.
Absolutely.
Um and I just like, and it's so cute. I just love it so much. And you know, always Supernatural. And Supernatural's back, so it started it was kind of like on a hiatus. Yay. Um when is it on? It was on Thursday.
Mhm.
So they came back with an episode and it was super cute. There's like a wood nymph and she's like taking care of them, being like all mom like, but not
Okay.
nymph like you think, like a mom. It was just a really cute episode. I loved it. It was just really nice to have them back in my life, you know.
Mhm.
Just like a warm hug, especially this time of
Yep.
year. And then got really sad because I was like, oh crap, that's like almost over. And I will be recapping that on Pure Fandom, so make sure you check that out, purefandom.com, for all your supernatural needs. You know,
Yeah.
hey, hey.
Yeah.
And then my littlest one is watching Korra, so I've been watching that with her, which is the sequel series to The Last Airbender, which if you haven't watched that, is so good. Like I was surprised at how much I liked it and how good the story was and the mythology of the Airbenders. Like
It's good.
you would love it, Val would love it.
I think we're
Dig
ready
it.
for it because we've been starting to watch. So we're rewatching Tangled, the series,
Hmm.
because she was like 2 when we watched it, and she doesn't remember. So this is
Doesn't
all
remember.
new. So she's like a new episode. I'm like, we better watch this. But I love it. I love Rapunzel. You know how I feel about Rapunzel. She's my favorite princess. Obsessed with her
Hmm.
for various reasons, and Mandy Moore definitely being one of them. Queen. And we actually just finished Tangled again. I didn't do this, but tonight, well, no, we have 2 more episodes, but we watch it every night. And she's been getting into new stuff. Like she likes, and she's been getting more into like proper cartoons, which I think is good to start introducing things like Last Airbender. So I
Hmm.
think maybe we'll try that next because this will be done. We probably only have 2 more Doobie nights, as Val calls movie nights, where we
I was gonna
watch
say movie night. I love it. Doobie.
movie night.
It's good though. It's
Movie.
it's 3 seasons, I think, is The Last Airbender.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, but it's also like the world building and like the mythology. And then when you watch Korra after that, like they really dig into like the history of how the Airbenders work, or not the Airbenders, the Avatars. It's so cool. And I'm also watching some weird ass anime about a volleyball team with
Oh,
my older daughter. It's called Haikyuu. And I keep waiting for them to give us like backstory on these characters, like
mm-hmm.
outside of volleyball.
Yeah.
It is legitimately only about volleyball. They don't even talk about like their parents, their lives outside of the gym. It is
Their
legitimately
lives outside of the gym.
volleyball and then more volleyball. And that's it. That's all it
Is
is.
she into
There's
volleyball? Like,
no, she's into anime, cute anime boys. Yeah, that's
okay.
where her headspace is right now.
Mm-hmm. I've been
Um,
there.
but like it's super like dramatic sometimes where like there's like this metaphor for like wingless crows and the team, and
Okay.
about how like they're getting their wings back,
Mm.
and how like when their spike is blocked, it's like a wall that they can't break through. And it gets all real deep and I'm like, still fucking just about volleyball. Like it's only about volleyball. It's like the guys on the court talking about volleyball. The
Right.
people watching them talking about volleyball. I'm like, who are you?
This
Do
is
you not have jobs? It's high school volleyball. It's not even like professional volleyball.
yeah.
It's high school volleyball in Japan. Apparently, it's very exciting. There's spectators,
Okay.
like grown men who sit in the stand, talk about how in middle school he couldn't get that set right, and now he can. And then, you know what a libero is? I do because of this show. They wear a different colored jersey because this show's only about volleyball. But
I
yeah,
told.
she's obsessed with it.
Hold on. What's it called again? I gotta look this up.
Haiku, I think is how you say it.
How do you spell it?
HAIKYUU maybe.
Oh,
It's on Netflix.
exclamation points.
It's very exciting, yes. And I'm pretty sure that means volleyball
Manga
because
series.
it's only about volleyball. I think Haiku means volleyball.
Yes.
But she's like
It follows Shoyo
in it.
Hanada, a boy determined to become a great volleyball player despite his small stature.
He's number 10 and surprisingly ginger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he is ginger.
Mhm. But he like never gives up and I like that. He's like very hopeful. But then I'm like, can we have anything else about his life? We saw his little sister like once. She just like ran in and ran out.
He
And I
doesn't
was
play
like,
volleyball. I don't care, Meg.
yeah, unless he's
About
gonna spike
volleyball.
her, she's not in the show. Like, sorry, sis. It's crazy because as a writer, as a show watcher, I'm like, okay, but why does he feel like this? Like, let's dig in. Nope. Now he's just gonna practice this set over here. The quick attack.
It's about
Oh, the
volleyball,
hand
Meg.
signals. Yeah,
It's
it's
about
just
volleyball.
about fucking volleyball. And I keep watching it thinking like we're gonna get more. Mm-mm. No, it's just about that team and how that team sets and how they met in middle school and now they're in high school. And I'm like, okay,
Playing
volleyball. Playing volleyball. That's it. That's all it is. And sometimes that's the perfect way to end my night. I don't have to think about nothing. I don't have to feel nothing.
That's what I'm saying,
Volleyball.
girl. That's right.
Mhm. I love it. It's
I love you.
crazy. I love you, and I'm so happy to be back and
Me
just
too.
talking random TV. If you watched all of this, bless your little heart.
I
If you're
know.
listening,
Thank
same.
you for listening and watching. And I
Mhm.
think, well, maybe we could even do like we'll start polling some of you guys on Twitter and doing all
Yeah.
sorts of stuff. Because I think with some, it looks like some production is starting again with a lot of
Yeah.
these shows like we were talking about. So, we can talk about news, we can do new recommendations. It'll give us an excuse to binge new series. I think
Mhm.
I'm excited. There's a lot to talk about. We're
A lot
really,
to unpack.
mm-hmm,
Mhm. I
mm-hmm.
love it. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me back the cat, not the character, because he's dead. Uh, but yeah.
All
Have
right.
a lovely night. Have a lovely day if you're listening in the morning, and have a great week. And be kind and vote
And
if you can.
vote. Vote if you can. If you live in the US, make sure that you vote in November. And in the meantime, if you need to escape a little bit, head to purefandom.com. We have so many different writers and podcasters, and folks are posting every day. Okay, we have a great team. If you want to write for us, email Megarai at meg@purefandom.com or liz@purefandom.com. We would love to have you write for us. We are all about geeking out and positivity, and it's just a really awesome environment. And if you want to check out Wizard World virtual experiences, we're going to keep doing fan panels there, and it's super fun, and we give away a bunch of free shit. So
Super
check it
fun
out.
time. Say
Check it
bye,
out.
Bellamy. Say bye.
Bye, Bellamy. And Meg, thank you. Cheers, girl.
Okay. Cheers. I'm just gonna lick that. Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.